Greetings, everybody. My name is Rama, and this is my mother.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
नाम नहीं बता रहे हो?
My name is Rosa.
I just asked my mom to say her name in Hindi, so some of you know Hindi. We'll be speaking Hindi and English.
Hi, my name is Rosa. I'm here with my son for cooking here.
We're going to make some Indian food. A lot of people have come to our home with different parties and enjoyed this incredible dishes. Mami, abhi nahi. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to make some okra. Okra curry, lady fingers, you know, and I just want to go over what we're going to use. Basically, we have okra that's already been cut up, but there's two ways that you can cut okra. One is this way into small little circles, and the other way is the long way. So, mummy, dikha do kaise katte hain. So, my mom she basically cuts the ends off, and then she'll cut down the middle and one more time. So, something like this, a piece like this is good enough. And like I said, it's a preference. We like it both ways. Basically, we're using about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of okra. And you could buy these pretty much at the supermarket, anywhere. Try it like an Asian market or a Spanish market, you'll find okra there. Or even an Indian grocery store, you'll find the okra there. Prepare the okra first. We're going to use 1 medium onion, a red onion. We're going to use 1 medium tomato. And what we've done is we've went ahead and diced the tomato. We've slivered the onions long ways like this. We've basically taken 1 serrano chili, and this is kind of medium spicy. We're going to make this everything a little bit medium today, and we're going to use 4 pieces of garlic. And my mom's already chopped this up. And the next thing we're going to do is the spices. Now, basically the way my mom cooks is very simple. So we use 3 basic spices. For the spices, we're using 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, 1/2 teaspoon to 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And then obviously we have some oil here. So now that we've got all the ingredients already ready to go, right after we cut the garlic and the chili pepper, we're going to go ahead and start putting the stuff together. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to saute the onion, the garlic, and the serrano with like 3 tablespoons of olive oil. We put the onions, the serrano chili, and the garlic mixture, and we're going to go ahead and saute them until the onions turn light brown. Aisi banana, mummy? Yes, I spoke to my mom in Hindi, and she said yes. That to lightly brown the onion. तैयार हो गया?
अब डाल दो, भिंडी डाल दो.
So once the onions are lightly brown, we're going to go ahead and put the okra into the pan. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and add the tomatoes. कितना salt डालना? कितना salt डालना?
इतना डाल दो.
Next up, we're going to go ahead and add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Once again, the key here to salt it as you taste it. I prefer to use less salt. That way, afterward, you can add as much salt as you'd like to the dish. Okay, so right after we added the salt, we're going to go next, we're going to add the turmeric. This is a very strong spice, so you want to use as less as possible, but enough to give you the flavor.
अब भूनने दो.
बोलो हिंदी में बोलो.
Now you stir the okra and onion and everything.
Okay, so my mom basically saying after you add the turmeric, you begin to keep stirring it to make sure it doesn't burn. Because remember, this can burn, so you want to constantly stir it. So right after the salt, my mom just said to go ahead and add the haldi. Turmeric. In Hindi, it's called haldi. And remember, we just only added the turmeric. We're going to add the coriander powder and the cayenne in a few minutes. Ab kya karna?
अभी भून दो.
So I just asked my mom what to do next. She said just to continue stirring for now, which I'm going to go ahead and continue stirring. And as you can see, it's getting this nice yellow color that is just amazing. And all of a sudden, the aromas are beginning to come through as I'm continuing to stir. Ab dalna hai? Kitne minute stir karna, mummy? Okay, so I just asked my mom what to do next. She said, well, first you have to stir the mixture with the turmeric for about 10 minutes or so. And as you're doing so, you'll see that it's beginning to start to cook. Now, the interesting thing about okra, some people don't like it because it's got a little sticky taste to it. But after a while, once you see the spices, that will no longer be a problem. You'll just go, so good.
Stirring that way, all the लार उसमें जो है greasy stuff is gonna be gone.
Okay. What basically my mom just said, if you keep stirring it as I'm doing right now, all that greasiness that when you cut the okra, you see it, it begins to go away. That's the purpose of stirring it constantly for about 10 minutes after we go ahead and put the turmeric.
थोड़ी देर नीचे पकने दे.
Okay, so my mom just said in Hindi, just let it cook for a little bit. Begin to separate with the spatula a little bit of the okra, and just let it sit for a minute or so it begins to cook. So now we're in the phase of just letting it cook.
चला दे.
Okay, so now we're ready to, my mom just said, go ahead and begin to re-stir again. You know, the interesting thing is I started cooking right after I came to LA in 1984, and I was missing my mother's cooking. And the amazing thing was, whenever I'd go back or my sister would come to visit, she would actually bring some Indian food from home. So I said, oh my God, I tried it on my own, but the thing was I would burn it because I didn't know what I was doing. So when I'd go back to New Jersey, I'd watch my mother like a hawk, just like we're showing you what to do here specifically. And then after a while of trial and error, on my own first, but with my mom, there was no trial and error. It was just do. And the food was just amazing. And now we hold a weekly meditation and people just come for the food. Of course, they come for the meditation, but they also come for the food. They come for the meditation, but stay for the food.
Who do you think is the better cook, you or your mom?
Oh, my mom. Definitely. She's a better cook. I mean, come on. There's no hands down. She was taught by her mother, who I learned
My
to...
mother never teach me. I used to watch her.
There you go, see? From the babe's mouth. Yeah, my grandmother, she was feeding... कितने लोग थे घर पे?
9 children.
So 9 kids. And that's what my grandmother would cook. And remember, this is a time where there was no running electricity. We were using a stove, a wood-burning stove.
Stone to do the masala.
Stone grind the masala. So you would buy the turmeric in its original form and then manually grind the turmeric.
What is its original form?
It's like a hard. It's like not like a peanut, but bada bada hota hai. Well, my father's saying it's like a peanut, but it's about this big. The turmeric can be a different small, but it's hard. It's like chalky, so you have to grind it down. That's why, I mean, it's so convenient to have the powder, but stone grinded by hand. Ab kya karna?
अभी धनिया और वो डाल दो.
Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and add the coriander powder and the cayenne pepper. कितना टाइम लगेगा मम्मी और?
अभी और पके.
कितना टाइम?
मसाले में 5 मिनट तक पकने दो.
Okay. Okay. और कितना टाइम चला है?
5 minutes.
हिंदी में बोलो.
5 minutes तक पकने दो.
Okay. So I just asked my mom how much more time that it's going to take to cook, and about another 5 minutes. And panch means 5 in Hindi.
ये देखो ये पक जानी चाहिए.
So what my mom is showing is that you could test it, and the okra will begin to become softened, and because normally it's a little tough when you cut it, and then it softens. Mami, कितना और time?
5 more minutes.
Okay, so basically we just tested it, and I asked my mom again how much more time. She said a few more minutes, about 5 more minutes left. But basically what I'm doing is I'm stirring it, but I'm also checking it by prodding it with, and you'll see that when it's ready to cook, it will basically, the spatula will go very easily through it. As you can see, it's still releasing a little bit of water as I cut through it. Total cooking time for okra is going to be about 20 minutes once you go ahead and put the okra in the pan after sauteing the onions.
You should say that. My wife.
So this is actually my wife's favorite, and we've been making this lately with very little spice, to no cayenne whatsoever, because she's on a special diet. But I like it spicy, so I asked my mom to always kick it up a little bit. You know, but the funny thing is that when Malena started coming to my parents' home, my mom would go, "Oh, Malena, it's not spicy, very, very light spicy." And then Malena would be crying and sweating. So I've been telling people, when my mom says not spicy, just be prepared, it's spicy. Now, if it does get too spicy, you want to take a little bit of yogurt and take a little yogurt with it, and that'll kind of cool it off a little bit. You know,
Goat meat.
my mom just said the spiciest dish she makes is goat meat, and she'll make it for me. But even we've been in the U.S. for let's say 10 or more years, probably more than that. But so our taste buds are become more westernized. So when my mom makes it spicy for me, now my dad thinks it's super spicy. I can handle it, but then I begin to sweat, and you know I need to have like an extra cloth to wipe the sweat that's going on. But it's just so amazing. And it's not just because of the cayenne, but the combination of spices. The key to this kind of food is you can make it mild, medium, and it'll still have the flavor.
Taste the salt.
Taste it?
You taste the salt.
Okay. I checked in with my mom just now, and she said to go ahead and taste the piece to see how it tastes, to see if it's ready. So we're ready for the taste test. Hang on, let me grab a little bowl. It still needs a few more minutes. And the salt is very, very light. So because I like it a little more salt, I'm going to go sprinkle a little bit more salt in there. So probably just another few more minutes and we're ready to eat it. Tayara? Bolo? So my mom's saying, yes, it's ready to go. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat.
Mrs. Arya, is this one of your favorites too?
Yeah, I like it, but I don't like onion. I like different way I make. Only garlic, no tomato, no onion.
So there's two different ways to make it. I like with the tomato and onion. My mom likes it only with the garlic and the spices. So you have the option of doing it either way. The process is still the same. If you're going to do it without the onion and the tomato, what you do is you add the garlic and the chili, you add the okra, you add the turmeric, let it cook in the turmeric, and then you add the coriander and the cayenne and salt. All right, looks like it's ready to go. So we're ready to have our taste. Here we go. Ayana. All right, Mom, the first bite is for you. And I'm going to have some too. Oh.
थोड़ी और कच्ची है अभी.
My mom's saying it's not as fully cooked, but I kind of like it a little medium cooked. We can cook it another 5 minutes if you want it like super well done, but I'm going to go ahead and that's up to you. So right now, in about 20-25 minutes, it has a little bit of a crunch to it, which is what I prefer. Or you can cook it for another 5 minutes and you'll have it well done. But for me, I want to make it simple. I want to make it fast. And that's the whole purpose of cooking with Mama and Rama.
Mama and Rama. Thank you.
Thank you. As my mom walks off the set, I'm going to go back to eating. This is just too good.